He called me unstable. I called the bank. 6 months ago, my husband told his family I was emotionally unstable. Last Tuesday, security walked him out of his office, while his mistress's father was driving to the apartment my husband had been secretly paying for, using credit he'd opened in my name. Both happened on the same afternoon. Here's how we got there. My husband and I both worked long hours, and our daughter had bad anxiety after bedtime, so we hired a babysitter 3 nights a week. For 2 years, everything seemed completely normal. Then my neighbor asked why our babysitter kept leaving our house at 11:30 at night, holding a coffee mug that belonged to my husband. I laughed it off until she sent me a screenshot from her security camera. There was our babysitter on my porch wearing my husband's hoodie, carrying 2 mugs, while he held the door open for her like she was leaving her own house, not mine. When I asked him about it, he didn't ask what photo or what coffee. He went straight to defending himself, said she'd stayed late helping fold laundry. Laundry. That's when I knew. So I checked the audio on the baby monitor in our daughter's room, the one with the glitch that picks up sound from downstairs. I heard enough. They weren't talking about bedtime. They were talking about when she finds out and what we do about the house. Our babysitter wasn't some random hire either. She was the daughter of my husband's coworker, and according to that coworker, my husband had specifically requested her by name after meeting her at an office event months earlier. For months, he'd been telling people, his coworkers, his mother, even the babysitter, that I was emotionally unstable and not really present as a mother. He'd even suggested I talk to someone. I thought that was concern. It wasn't. It was paperwork. The worst part? My daughter adored her. When I finally fired the sitter, my husband told me I was overreacting. I told him I was finally reacting. Correctly. A week later, I found out he'd opened a credit card in my name without my knowledge and used it for dinners, gifts, and the apartment he'd been quietly renting for the two of them. That's not just betrayal, that's identity theft. And that's the night I stopped asking questions and started building a file of my own. For 3 weeks, I said nothing. I just collected the recordings, the screenshots, the credit card statements, every message where he'd called me unstable to people I'd never even met. Then I picked one day and let it all land at once. First, I reported the credit card as fraud. The bank's investigator called him at his desk in front of his entire team. Then I sent his coworker, the babysitter's father, copies of the apartment lease and the messages between his daughter and my husband. He didn't call my husband, he got in his truck. And by 5, HR had pulled my husband into a meeting that ended with security walking him to his car. By 6, his coworker's daughter was standing on the sidewalk with her bags, watching her father load them into that same truck. He didn't get the house, he didn't get custody, and the 6 months of proof he'd built showing I was unstable, it became Exhibit A in my divorce filing, proof of exactly how long he'd been planning this. My daughter still asks about her old babysitter sometimes. I tell her she moved away. That part's true. She moved back in with her parents, who are still not speaking to my ex. As for the unstable thing, turns out I wasn't unstable. I was just quiet. Right up until I wasn't.